interesting fall, a very different fall compared to seasons past. Obviously, not really a positive thing to kind of get games canceled and things like that. But what positives have you taken out of this period?
I think that the whole situation will actually benefit us in the long run. Maybe not like short term, but like looking in like a long term kind of perspective, because we have so many newcomers this year. We're able to really play together, get to know how we play, get to figure out our strengths and weaknesses and what works as like a formation for us as a team, as opposed to being thrown into a season with as many newcomers as we have and then figuring it out along the way during actual games that count.
What have you improved on? Can you name a couple things that the team as a whole and you individually maybe have improved on since we last saw Beaver soccer to today?
I think we're a little more disciplined as a team, for sure. I think that we have more of a stronger cultural and team bond, because I know that last year we were still working on building the team culture that Chris has really desired for our program, and that's kind of been difficult. But now that we have more time to really focus in on that culture and not have the interference of games and that really competitiveness that adds to the team, we can really focus on how we want to be and how we want to push each other. And I think we're getting better at that, at pushing each other, as lifting each other up as a team, but still challenging each other at the same time.
And you mentioned the culture of the team that Chris has been trying to build the last couple of years. What exactly is part of that culture, and how can you define it?
So a way that helps me understand his vision is the example of coming to soccer practice, and that's your job. And you come and you grind and you help other people, you push them to their limits, and you're completely open to criticism yourself, knowing that whatever you're doing is just to get better.
And all right, Mel, very different fall season, but you and the rest of the team have been working quite a bit, trying to better yourselves. What exactly have you guys been working on and trying to improve on here in this season?
I think we're trying to get everybody on the same page so far, so that whenever season comes, we know what system to play, we know how everybody plays, like we know what kind of person everybody is. So that's kind of what we've been trying to do so far.
There's been a lot of turnover, a lot of new faces among the girls on the team. Can you talk about a few bright spots within those newcomers and what they've been able to bring to the team?
We have quite a few new girls, good defenders, good midfielders, good attackers. We have people that can score, we have people that can defend. Everybody is, for example, Tiffany, she's a really good face for in front of the goal. And then Skylar for in the back, really solid. So.
And obviously it was probably pretty disappointing not being able to play this fall. But how have you guys been able to stay positive throughout this season and still working forward?
I think building relationships and just working towards something and just having that idea in mind is like pretty good, like a pretty good thought to keep thinking about. I think just keeping in mind the system that we're trying to play and really trying to get that into our heads is a positive thing, because with a good system you can like beat most of the teams, and I think that's what we've been trying to do, focus on.
All right, cool. Thanks, Mel. All right, Hannah, fall season's coming to a close shortly. You guys have been working quite a bit throughout the fall season despite not having any games to play. How have you guys been able to stay focused?
Well, things like today, Chris has done a lot of stuff for us to make it not like just an extended spring. We kind of included things like this where we have games. We play a lot of fun pre-game games that we'd normally be doing in season, so he's tried his best to kind of keep us interested, I guess, and keep it as game-like as possible.
How has Chris's coaching style kind of lent itself to staying focused again, and what kind of things you mentioned what kind of things he has you do to kind of stay on track, and can you kind of go into a little bit more detail on how he's been able to impact you guys throughout this time?
Well, it's kind of been an opportunity for him, because obviously Chris is new to the program and most of the girls in this program are new, so it's kind of just took advantage of the opportunity we had to really focus on things like culture. Being a fall sport, normally we don't have time to kind of enforce that right away. It's normally a longer process, and we kind of just got that time to do it now while everyone was fresh and new.
And you, yourself, Mel, Sophia, a good core of veteran leadership. what have you three especially, and a couple of the other returners, been doing to kind of build that culture on your own, since you don't have the built-in games and road trips and things like that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely been an eye-opener. You don't really realize how much that the bus rides and hotels and all that kind of stuff is where you just inevitably build a bond. So it's kind of just that pre-practice time, that short period of time in the locker room you have and things like that, kind of switching teams around, getting to play with new girls. That's really, we do the best we can there.
All right, cool. All right, Coach, fall season's coming to a close in the next few days, few weeks. What positives have you as a team been able to take out of this period?
You know, having so many young players, it's been great to, you know, just be on the field consistently and being able to train, you know, day in and day out. Obviously, having lost the spring, it was kind of great to have that opportunity and be able to work with so many new players, kind of really focus on bringing a system in and trying to, you know, get our mindset straight, just so we're ready for the spring, and whatever we get to have happen.
You mentioned those newcomers, and there are quite a few new faces on your club. Can you talk about a couple bright spots in particular, and maybe what those newcomers as a whole have been able to bring to the team?
Yeah, I just think honestly, you know, all of them have brought depth to our program. You know, when as a coaching staff we sit around and we talk about, you know, who could potentially play here, who could potentially play here. You know, we have competition in every spot, and that's something that we didn't have last year. And so I think that's, you know, been the number one thing that we've been able to have is just a full-on, you know, competitive environment to kind of push us and drive us forward into the future.
And you also mentioned that obviously we haven't been able to see any soccer games,
Yep.
but you've been able to kind of sprinkle in some scrimmages and some exhibitions like that throughout this fall period. How the girls have mentioned how excited they get about those opportunities. As a coaching staff, what do you guys get out of that?
I think the same thing. We feed off their energy when they come out here. You know, we've tried to do pretty well, understanding that it's been a long time since they played. Understanding that just training day in and day out with no games can be tedious, and so we've done some things to try and create a competitive environment. You know, we played one day a week. We do small-sided. One day a week we do larger, and then obviously bringing in last Friday we played a full game, and we have an official that comes and everybody puts on the uniforms to create that environment has been big for us. Obviously capping off tonight with another one's, you know, kind of big for them to kind of put the uniform on and to step on the field and remember what it's like to play games. And so, you know, it's been great for us. It's good for us to see them you know, play 90 minutes to work on their fitness and to kind of get ready for that level too.
We talked to a couple of the veteran players on your team, and they talked about how important this period has been for building the desired culture among the club. Can you kind of echo that statement and what you've seen on that end?
Yeah, I think whenever, you know, it's a crazy situation to bring so many new players in and have so few upperclassmen. And so it's been an opportunity for us to kind of revamp and refocus on what's important to us as part of a program and part of the culture, and be able to build that kind of a player-centered you know, unit is what we're trying to build here. It takes longer. You know, I tell them all the time, it's easy for me to say you do it this way or you run, but creating buy-in for them and saying we do it this way because this is where we want to go and this is why we want to go there, creates that complete buy-in, and that's what we're working on. It's a work in progress. You know, every day we have steps forwards and we'll have a step backwards, but it's fun to see the girls buy into it and get excited about it and be part of building their culture.
And you know, what you just mentioned, it is still a work in progress, but what have you seen as the biggest improvements since we've last seen Beaver soccer on the pitch to today?
I think accountability, players holding each other accountable, and not necessarily just here, but you know, in the classroom. I think there's more real conversations happening where they're truly trying to get to know each other, and also building the relationship so they can hold each other more accountable. I think that's probably been the bright side of it.